Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me at the Trademark Like a Boss show. I'm your host, Radiance Harris, and today I have with me Gloria Larkin, President and CEO of TargetGov. Thank you for joining me today, Gloria.
Oh, Radiance, I am so excited about this. We have a lot to share today.
Yes, I'm very excited about this conversation, and we're going to be talking about leveraging your trademarks to win government contracts. So Gloria is an expert in this space. So why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself to our viewers, share more about TargetGov and what you do there.
You know, the favorite thing I have to talk about is me, but more importantly, our company here at TargetGov, what we do is help our clients win billions of dollars in federal contracts. I'm the president and CEO of TargetGov. We've been in business over 24 years now. And when we started measuring the impact we were having with our clients, that's where the $7 billion of contract awards figure came from. We just started measuring that in the last 7 years. So we're looking forward to helping our clients win billions more in federal contracts. And I'm going to say that the whole idea of trademarks is a critical differentiator for our clients to win more.
Right. So tell me, how does someone get into government contracts? So share more with me about how you help companies who are interested in getting into the space. What are some ways that you help them? And then what are some things as business owners that we can look out for if we're interested in exploring government contract opportunities?
Absolutely. You know, the U.S. federal government is the world's Fortune 1 customer. That means they buy more services and products than any other entity in the entire world. And they do business with everyone from single person operations to regular small businesses to mid-sized to very large businesses. And you can be located anywhere in the United States and even the world and do business with the U.S. federal government. So one gets started by simply getting registered at a federal website, which does not cost anything. The website is sam.gov, and that is a U.S. federal government registration website for all government contractors. And as I mentioned, it does not cost a dime. So it's a good place to explore the wonderful world of federal contracting and get your feet, dip your toe in the water.
That's awesome. So tell me, you've been in business for over 20 years now. At what point in your business journey did you pursue trademarks?
Well, in case you can't see them, my trademarks that are active and in very heavy use are those on the screen behind me. So TargetGov is our first trademark. And I determined that that was critical as a differentiator for our business because, frankly, when we started our consulting business, government consultants were literally a dime a dozen. So in order to separate ourselves and really focus in on our expertise and what makes us different, I did put quite a bit of thought and research into the name TargetGov because I wanted it to be unique and I wanted to be the only entity using that phrase as a company name. So we started that trademark immediately, even before we had the design in place. It was first, let's get that word, TargetGov, as a newly created word that was not in use anywhere else. Yeah. And we found it to be very lucrative. From there, we started trademarking our services.
Okay.
And we have a KickStart program that is trademarked now and registered for those companies generally under $1 million in revenue who want to see success in the federal government marketplace. And then we have our legacy consulting service called the FAST, F-A-S-T process, which even as a common word, FAST, we were able to get that registered as a trademark. And you can see that circular logo on the screen behind me for the FAST logo and trademarked name.
So tell me, how have their trademarks benefited you since you've had them? I mean, you mentioned a key benefit, which is exclusivity in the marketplace and presenting a competitive edge compared to all the other people in the government contracting space. But how have you personally benefited from protecting your trademarks so early in your business journey?
Well, in the consulting business, much like in most businesses, we all have competitors. Mm-hmm. And this is a way that I clearly differentiated what we offered from any other consulting service out there. Not only was our process different, but the products that we developed are also different. And by trademarking them, we literally created a differentiator that no one else could claim. By naming it the KickStart program or the FAST process under the umbrella of TargetGov, we set ourselves apart totally in a measurable way so that if someone is interested in hiring us, we can clearly discuss the FAST process and what's involved in it, right, or how the KickStart program could help you get started in the federal government space. This is something that we've monetized in this business market. And we also help our clients monetize their trademarks in the federal contracting market as well, which is super exciting because you, Radiance, are one of the few people on this planet that really grasp the value of monetizing a trademark once you own it.
Absolutely. You hit that nail on the head. I'm always preaching about the importance of monetizing the assets that you've invested in. So you've been taking the step to invest and protect in your brand, in your trademark, to the point where now when I mention TargetGov or Gloria, like it's a strong brand. Like people know you, like, and that's good. You've done a good job of building that in the marketplace, but then you've also done a tremendous job of creating that income, that passive income to really leverage the trademarks that you've protected. So that is amazing. And I think a lot of people, business owners, can learn from that. So tell me this, are there particular industries that are better than others in terms of government contracting? Give me some examples of good industries where it might be a consideration to look into government contract opportunities.
Well, you might be surprised, but the U.S. federal government purchases absolutely everything, whether it's staffing services, architect, engineering, construction services, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in architect, engineering, and construction services every year. IT services, hundreds of billions of dollars every year. IT products, any kind of product that you can possibly imagine, the federal government purchases. I used to say every legal product that you can imagine. And I had someone correct me on that at an event at which I was speaking. A gentleman raised his hand and he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I'm a contracting officer." And this was before marijuana and cannabis was legal. And he said, "We purchase marijuana right now." And I was shocked. And I said, "The federal government purchases it?" He said, "Yes, we're doing research on it to find out how it can aid in treatment of PTSD and a few other issues related to veterans." And so now that cannabis is legal in many states, the federal government purchases everything legal.
Wow. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you shared that, because I think there's a misconception that there's only certain industries that you can get into government contracting. I know I've had conversations with you about, are there legal opportunities? Can I look into opportunities as a law firm to get federal government contracts? And you were like, absolutely. And there are different creative ways of doing that. And I know that that's like in your wheelhouse. It's helping businesses identify what government opportunities are out there for them, correct? Absolutely.
And the one area that needs to have a creative approach would be retail. So if you were operating a beauty salon or a dry cleaner, then you would think of, where can I locate my retail establishment to take advantage of the federal customer? And we can help you through that process as well. But other than retail, literally every kind of service that you can think of and every product that you can think of, because the federal government, remember, we're not just selling services or IT services. The federal government is also providing health care to citizens worldwide, to the military worldwide as well, and logistic services. How do you ship people from one place to another and all of their belongings from one place to another? So if you are wondering whether or not your service or product can be sold to the federal government marketplace, just reach out to us here at TargetGov. We won't charge you anything to have an initial conversation to determine whether or not it's a good market for you.
You heard that, folks. She's basically said you can reach out to her and have a conversation. So I definitely think you should take her up on that offer. So I'd love to hear more about your business experience. Like, you've been in business quite a while. Is there anything that, I guess, what is the biggest lesson you've learned along the way?
Well, in relation to the trademark issue, is trademark everything. Because no matter what business you are in, and I'm in the consulting business, intellectual property is something you own. And the mistake I made was not trademarking early enough with some of the services and products that we provide. And I will tell you that those mistakes can cost us dearly if other people try to claim that they do the same thing that you do. And frankly, that happened to me. So by then trademarking what we offered, I was able to prove exactly what this intellectual property entails and why a threat of taking someone to court over a trademark issue is so powerful now.
It is. So tell me, did you use an attorney or did you DIY the trademark process?
The first time we DIY'd it. And the beautiful thing about ignorance is that it's bliss until you find out what you did not know. And would I recommend that in the future? No. Subsequently, for both the KickStart and the FAST process, we absolutely worked with an attorney to make sure that all I's were dotted and T's crossed and we weren't missing out something critically important. And so that's what I would strongly recommend for everyone thinking of trademarking, is to reach out to Radiance and have that conversation first.
Yes, I would agree. People are always asking, whether it's just something you should DIY. But what I've learned is that, you don't know what you don't know. And so a lot of times people think it's just a matter of the trademark process is like when you go file for a business entity with the Secretary of State. They think it's just, you just file the paperwork and in 7 days you have a trademark. But as you know, the process is more complex than that. The process takes on average about a year of time. So there are a lot of nuances in the process that a non-trademark attorney would not be aware of until they actually got to it,
And one of the examples I'd like to share is, and I love your newsletters and your advice that comes out with the case studies, because they're brilliant. It really proves what you're talking about. And as an example, there are company names who are doing business with the federal government. And if you would venture a guess at how many companies call themselves management solutions,
right?
Well, what would you say? Would it be a handful? Would it be?
There are a lot. I mean, I would say there are like hundreds of management solution consulting, and they all are like in the consulting space. And so that makes it hard for people to figure out, okay, what's the difference between what you guys are doing and which.
Bingo.
Yeah, it causes confusion, which is the purpose of a trademark, is to avoid, minimize, prevent confusion.
Exactly. So our client, whose name was Management Solutions, there are 246 companies doing business with the federal government with the same name. So we really
probably no trademarks.
We really worked hard with them on differentiating themselves with trademarks. And what does that look like? Because they were shocked. They thought that, like you said, it only mattered at the state level. But when you're doing business at the federal government level, you want to know nationwide that you are unique in some way, shape, manner, or form. So that's one of the biggest mistakes we help people in the federal government marketplace address, is now that we've made the mistake of not trademarking our name, how do we mitigate that?
Right. And so have you had to work while working with people? Has there anyone who's had to do a name change? Has that been a part of the thing because they realized that the name wasn't exclusive, it wasn't protectable? Have you experienced?
Yes. And the name change may be a doing business as name change. So that they don't have to disrupt their corporate history and their corporate credit and their corporate references. That all stays, but maybe by filing a doing business as or a fictitious business name that is trademarked as a unique name, then they can rebrand and move forward without losing all of the benefits of that corporate history.
Absolutely. And that's what I tell clients all the time. They're like, oh, Drew, that means I have to refile my business entity and reopen bank accounts. I'm like, no, it's from a legal standpoint, and from contracts you enter to, your bank account can still be under the original name. But from a doing business as standpoint, a lot of times the rebrand is having to change everything out there in the marketplace, except for the actual business entity that you've filed. So yes, that's a great point, for sure. So is there any advice that you would give to someone venturing into the government contract space?
The first thing I would say is, no matter where you are located, to start locally. And this is the beauty about the federal government market. Everybody thinks, well, that means I have to do business in or near Washington, D.C. And no, the federal government does business literally in every single state that wherever you are, California, Texas, Florida, Minnesota, the federal government has offices there and is spending money locally. So keep your overhead down. And instead of getting on an airplane and traipsing off to Washington, D.C., start doing business locally, right in your own state with the federal government entities who are located there. And we can show you how to find that information. It doesn't cost you anything to look for opportunities. We have a lot of free resources on our TargetGov website, which you are definitely welcome to take advantage of. So start locally, get registered in sam.gov. Again, that's free. And we actually have a basic guide to government contracting,
Yes,
a book that would like to have available, of course, to purchase, but we're going to give one away today too.
Yes, tell us about your giveaway.
So all you need to do, no matter when you're listening to this, is simply send us an email at events@targetgov.com. And you see that on the ticker going across the screen right now, events@targetgov.com, and say you saw us on the Radiance IP show and you'd like to enter the book giveaway. And that's all you need to do. And we will use a randomizer to pick a random winner and then ship the book off to you. We look forward to sending it off to you right away so that you can get started in the federal government marketplace. We'll pick one winner from today's show.
Amazing, guys. So yes, enter into that giveaway so that you can get the basic guide to government contracting. Gloria is a thought leader in this space, so that is a amazing gift. So please do email her and for the chance to win the book. So is there anything that you would like to share with our viewers in terms of anything that's coming up down the pipeline for you? What's next?
So we are again participating in many of the events and conferences that the federal government holds. Now that vaccines are becoming more widely used, these events are being held in person, again, nationwide, but they're also hanging on to the virtual events as well, because that saves everybody travel time and hotel costs, etc. So we have expert speakers here at TargetGov, of which I am one. We have other experts that you'll see speaking throughout the United States on the whole idea of how to be successful doing business with the federal government marketplace. And then, of course, we do have our tools and techniques that are available on our website at targetgov.com, webinars that are constantly being produced, always training you how to be better and successful at doing business with the federal government.
That is wonderful. Yes, TargetGov has a wealth of resources. So definitely reach out to Gloria, check out their website, targetgov.com. And how can people connect with you?
Simply reach out to us at our website or shoot us that email at events@targetgov.com. And remember, it's targetgov.com. That way you'll make sure and get directly to us at our branded website, trademark name, and leverage everything that you can do to trademark your own business name, your own business services, or your business products, of course. I think you'll see great success when you do that.
Absolutely. And you've seen that here with Gloria today. So thank you so much for your time today. Be sure to check out her website and email her if you're looking into or interested in learning more about government contracts. Thank you again for joining me today, Gloria.
I look forward to staying in touch, and we're going to achieve world domination and help our clients win $10 billion in federal contracts.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you all for joining us today. If you're interested in learning more about trademarks would like to schedule a call with me, feel free to schedule a trademark strategy call. You can check out on our website, radianceiplaw.com. Until next time, take care, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.